Football fans, what up though? Welcome to Full Contact Football. Today we're going to be looking at NFL awards. The season's over with pretty much, and it's time to honor those athletes that balled out. The awards are going to take place on Thursday, February 9th at 9 p.m. Eastern, just before the Super Bowl. In this video, we're going to take a look at the Rookie of the Year, and obviously it's important to take a look at that because it highlights future stars in the league. So let's take notice of some of the guys that put the league on notice this year. Your top nominees are going to be quarterback Brock Purdy, San Francisco's quarterback. You've got Kenneth Walker III, explosive running back from Seattle. And then you've got Garrett Wilson, who balled out for the Jets this year. Couple honorable mentions. You've got Kenny Pickett, quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Did a great job turning their season around. Isaiah Pacheco, running back for the Kansas City Chiefs, which given life to their run game. You also have receiver Chris Olave, who balled out for New Orleans. Receiver George Pickens made some spectacular catches throughout the season for the Steelers. You've got receiver Christian Watson, who turned up there at the end of the season as well. Dameon Pierce, running back for the Texans, had almost 1,000 yards. You also have Tyler Algier, who did have 1,000 yards for the Falcons, kind of sight unseen down there in Atlanta. And there was also Brian Robinson Jr., who I thought did a good job for the Commanders.
Yeah, so all those guys did really well, but not quite good enough.
So let's take a look at some of these nominees, a couple things they did well, show some stats, and talk about a winner. You know, first up is San Francisco's rookie quarterback, Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant. When you overall look at this guy's season, you know, he wasn't a hype job. He was extremely accurate as a quarterback, especially in the short to intermediate game. Really cool with their play action, and was able to improvise and make a lot of great plays. You know, I'm not going to speak too much on that. You guys can check out my video on Brock Purdy, and it kind of goes in deep analysis on that. But, you know, overall, the thing that I like most about him when you look at the stats is the touchdown to interception ratio. You know, 13-4 just shows that he's really smart with the football in his hands. The 67% completion percentage just once again goes into, hey, get the ball out of your hands quick, get it to the right person, let those guys go to work. You know, ideally, you know, when you have a quarterback that isn't expected to come in and play at all as the third string quarterback, and he does what he does in the season, you know, it does lead to, you know, a kind of vacuum of excitement of people thinking that, hey, you can do a lot of great things. And I think Brock Purdy is set up to have a pretty bright future if he can come back and win that quarterback battle against Trey Lance here going into the offseason. So, but great year, well deserving of the recognition for sure. So next up is Kenneth Walker III, second round pick for Seattle, and plays running back for him. This guy is extremely explosive. 4.6 yards a carry, 9 touchdowns, 1,000 yard season here. You know, his longest run of the year was 74 yards. So this is a guy that can take it to the house at any point for you. You know, he finished 12th in rushing this year, had 10 runs over 20 yards plus, you know, to go along with those 9 touchdowns, as I mentioned. You know, I thought that early on he was just going to run away with the award, and he still might, just because he has a really strong body of work throughout the entire season. The only thing that I would say that probably goes against Kenneth Walker in this is there are some games where he just goes missing, whether it was due to injury or, you know, just not being part of the game plan. But you can really tell that that Pete Carroll's plan of action of run first, throw second, really makes his quarterbacks look like savants, whether it's Russell Wilson or Geno Smith. But you know, I think Kenneth Walker is just as talented as a running back, like beast mode for Seattle, and it's going to lead them to a lot of great seasons down the road. And then you've got Garrett Wilson, big play Garrett Wilson. This guy had 83 receptions on 147 targets. Was averaging 13.3 per catch. And there's a couple games mixed in throughout this season where he's averaging 20 yards a catch, a reception, you know, making huge plays, gashing defenses down the field. I think his biggest problem is who is the quarterback for the New York Jets, you know, but whoever they figure out, you know, that's going to be throwing passes to them has a real good receiver here, Wilson. You know, he ends up in the top 15 in receiving yards, at over 300 yards in yards after catch, 384 to be exact, which is going to be like right there at like 15 amongst receivers. You know, in terms of his big playability, he had 13 receptions over 20 plus yards. 15% of his passes were big plays. You know, when you compare that to the other top receivers in the games, like Devontae Adams at 24%, Justin Jefferson at 22%, Tyreek Hill at 21%. You can see the potential for Garrett Wilson. You know, but like I said, his biggest thing here, man, doesn't have a quarterback. Some of the games that they did win, you know, they weren't his. He wasn't a big factor per se. And then the defense was a little bit more of a national story, but nonetheless, Garrett Wilson definitely is a dog. And heck, this could have very easily been Chris Olave's slot. When you look at his stats, they are very comparable. Overall, looking at this rookie class on the offensive side of the ball, I have to say the NFL is obviously in great hands. You know, I think we got a couple of quarterbacks, we got a couple of receivers, a couple of running backs. There's definitely some offensive linemen that didn't get mentioned here and aren't going to get mentioned in awards like this, but are definitely going to be factors moving forward. You know, I like this class a lot, but somebody has to get the award. And I think when you really get down to the nitty gritty here, you know, this award isn't only about, you know, how well did you play on the field, but can you help propel the story of the NFL a little bit more, right? And what's going to do that more than a quarterback? And I think at the end of the day, when this award is given, Brock Purdy is going to be the finalist that walks to the stage and receives the hardware, just because, you know, he created a little bit of a frenzy of, man, who is this kid? And how far can he really take those 49ers? And we saw that took him all the way to the NFC Championship. So ideally, I think Brock Purdy is going to be your 2022 NFL Rookie of the Year, and deservingly so. With that said, you guys comment down below. Let me know who you think is going to be the Rookie of the Year. Also, let me know if you feel like there were some snubs. And also, do your boy a favor. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button for this video. Continue to follow the channel. Thanks for watching.